Hi, my name is Amanda Romeo. This is my husband Jamie and our son Oliver James. So Oliver was born on a Friday night. It was about 11:15 at night, and there was no diagnosis prior to him being born. So when the doctors did the initial health checkup, they heard a heart murmur. They thought that it was pretty insignificant. It wasn't serious enough to need to do anything right away. They let him stay in the hospital room with us. And the plan was on the following Monday to do x-rays and echoes to look into it a little bit further. The following Saturday, when he was about 14 hours old, the on-call pediatrician listened to it again, and he noticed that Oliver's stomach was going in and out very fast as he was trying to breathe. And so because of that, he decided that it was probably better to get things looked at right away. So from there, things just started moving really quickly. It became quite a blur. Oliver was life flighted around 16 hours old to Wolfson's in downtown Jacksonville. Jamie followed behind. He went with him to stay, and I had not yet been discharged, so I stayed back in Baptist South. You know, that day and the following day, it kind of just, were the worst days that we've ever had. The on-call doctor at Wolfson's was Dr. Moon. He talked with Jamie in person and then gave me a call explaining that Oliver had a aortic to left ventricle tunnel, and it was an extra tunnel in his heart that was causing blood to go backwards. So from there, after explaining us the process, we were told that he was going to need some sort of surgery, and they had only had 20 cases to study from. So this was a more rare condition, and they weren't quite sure what path to take yet. We were first-time parents. We were obviously very nervous, especially not knowing any of this ahead of time. On day 3, Oliver was, he was 3 days old. The doctors felt that he was strong enough to do a cath lab so that they could explore a little bit. And in doing that, they were able to find some pivotal information to help with their surgery. He also was able to learn a little bit about Oliver as far as anesthesia and pain medicine goes. So it was really helpful in how to perform the surgery because, again, there was only 20 cases to study. None of them had been as young as Oliver. So on day 5, October 27th, Oliver went in for open heart surgery. Up until this point, we had such a roller coaster of emotions that I think, we were both really at peace that day. And we knew that he was in good hands. He was with Dr. Schillingford and his team, and we knew that this was going to be the best day of Oliver's life. You never know that you need something like the Healing Hearts Project until you do. It's easy when you get put in one of these situations to feel very alone. We live in such a social media technology society that it's easy to get caught up in what everybody else has and why don't I have a healthy baby? Why did this happen to me? In meeting the Healing Hearts Project, it was almost, instantly, you were no longer alone. There were people that have experienced the same thing as you. These families' hearts break every time they hear of another heart baby. It doesn't matter what the condition is or the circumstance, they're so quick to welcome you with open arms because they've been in such a similar situation. And having that support from somebody who's actually been through it is just so pivotal in helping you get through this difficult season of your life. We live in that social media society with technology, but you also never realize how much people love you and want to help you until you tell them there's a need. So social media really helped us gather a whole community to rally around Oliver, and we had people reaching out to us as far as Ireland, people that didn't know us but heard our story through a friend of a friend, and really just the outpouring of love through text messages, emails, phone calls, Facebook, all those things. We read every single comment, and that's really what kept us in good spirits, was that people truly do care, and we saw the good in humanity. Being a first-time parent, you don't know what to expect, and even being a second or third or fourth-time parent, going through something like this just changes things. I personally feel as though postpartum depression for both a mother and a father is not talked about enough. It's one of those things that they claim, I believe the statistic is 20% of women have it, and I really believe that that's only those that actually report their cases. I think that so many more of us experience it, and then you combine that with trauma, and it's just a double whammy. So I would say get the therapy. The moms and dads that aren't okay, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to get help from someone who can get you through this season. So one thing that I can speak easy about is that life does go on, that for some families it ends differently, and for us, we were fortunate enough that life went forward, and we've got a happy and a healthy son who has been through so much in his little life, and yet to watch him, you would have no idea, because he's just so loved, so supported. He's got such great care at Wolfson's. He's got an entire team with the Healing Hearts Project rallying around him. And to see the joy in his eyes really brings me, it gives me new purpose. It just gives me a new outlook on life, that my life is now lived for him because he's here and he gets to experience life, and now I can see life through his eyes.